Yes, hello. This is your first training video for the Huntington Wiffle League. First things you're going to need to learn how to do, especially if you're a team captain, but something that everybody should learn how to do on the team, is to keep the score sheet. Keeping the score sheet is what separates us from some leisurely picnic Memorial Day weekend wiffle ball game. Okay, so it's very important that you know how to keep the score sheet. It's really the only professional thing that we do, to be honest. So it's very important that everyone keeps the score sheet similarly so that we can quickly and effectively put them into the database so that week in and week out we can know the leaderboards and where people stand and statistics and the leaderboard. Okay, so just the basics. We do have a legend at the bottom of how to score everything. This is something you could look up on the website when you look up results and hit the sheet button. In the column there, you can see just exactly what a filled out one looks like, but we'll just go over the basics today. There's a legend at the bottom of each Huntington Wiffle League sheet that each captain receives at the beginning of each game. Basically, the way you may have kept the book if you were ever a coach or had a lot of bench time like me when you played Babe Ruth or Little League, it's not that complicated. Basically, think of the most simplified way to do it, and you're on the right page. Okay, so let's just say Greg, for example. He hits a single. Okay, you just draw a line from home to first base, and that's it. There's also these things up here for single, double, triple, home run, and walk that you could circle. It doesn't matter. Okay, I'd prefer the line drawing as to anything, because it's easiest to follow. For a double, just draw a line from home to first to second. Very simple. Triple, same principle. First, second to third, or you could circle triple. It doesn't matter. Now, home runs, you can either circle HR there in the top part, or just draw all the way around the diamond and just shade in. Okay, now let's say there was a runner on first and second when this home run was hit. You need to tell me how many runs were brought in. I can probably deduce that, and so could anyone else, by looking at what was happening before, but still, just to make things simpler, it would be best just to go ahead and write down the amount of RBIs. Now, let's say Mike is after Greg. Greg, we've seen, has a single, but let's say Mike gets a strikeout. You just simply write K, or you can make it a backwards K like I do in the majors. It doesn't matter. For every out that happens, since we have 2 outs per side in each inning, these little circles here, whichever out it is, you just write it down. So in a circle, this K in this case will be the first out. Let's say he grounds out in the second at bat that he has. So you just simply write GO for ground out, and then 2 for the second out. Okay. Now, this is where things can get quite confusing. Just to break up the score sheet by inning so we know, because typically in the majors there's 9 batters in any given inning. It's very rare to bat all the way around, but for the Huntington Wiffle League, since a team with as little as 3 players is permitted to play, you can bat around several times. So it's very important to make some sort of division or something. So just give me something. Don't rule out the next box, because you could run out of boxes. I mean, you do have 15 at-bats possible on each sheet, but some of these games last a while, and you don't want to take any chances and then have to make your own boxes later or have to use another sheet. So just make a little division there. Now, if you had people below that, you just brain around through there. Not very difficult, okay? Now, for pop-outs, you just simply write PO. If it's a pop-out, fly-out, line-out, doesn't matter. Just write PO for pop-out, FO for fly-out if you prefer, LO for line out, it doesn't matter. Now, if someone walks, you could circle BB, or you could just simply write base on balls inside the diamond. Not too complicated, right? What can get complicated is what people do consider a fielder's choice and how to score that. Fielder's choice is anytime you get on base, but it comes at the cost of another base runner getting out. Sort of like a distraction is responsible for why you're on base. Let's say, okay, Mike's on first base now. Greg gets to first, but in the process, Mike is tagged out at second. He gets the single, technically, but it's a fielder's choice. Fielder's choice is scored same thing as a walk. You still get the plate appearance, but it does not go towards your batting average, and it's just considered a plate appearance and does not affect your batting average negatively or positively. Okay, but the fact that it was a fielder's choice, it's not a hit technically. Okay, it's very simple. Not a lot of things to consider. Anytime somebody gets pegged or something like that, or there's a double play, you could just write DP for double play and just write 2 automatically. Not very complicated. Anytime there's a spectacular play, let's say this double play was amazing, please put a little asterisk there or something like that so I can look up the game video, because that could be a potential game of the week and that could save me a lot of legwork and watching a lot of needless video when someone could just point me in the right direction of a great play. That's something that I've encouraged players to do for a little over a few months now, but so far no one's really done that. So that really hasn't happened. Now at the top we do have a scoreboard feature there. Please keep up with that. That is your team's responsibility to do that. So in this case, it was 0. And you just keep track of it. We play 5-inning games, and we have room for I think up to 11 or 12 innings if it goes into extras. Runs and hits. We don't score errors, and we always keep the date, which field you're on, and the time the game started or was supposed to start, or the number of game that was on this field. Now let's look at pitching statistics. It's a lot more simplified than any other pitching score sheet you may have ever seen. We only keep track of the win, the save, and the loss, innings pitched, strikeouts, walks, hits, runs, and earned runs. Difference between runs and earned runs is, of course, if someone walks a run in, okay, which does happen. Okay, so let's say Greg is also the pitcher. And Greg often does pitch very well, so let's just go ahead and credit him for the win. And you have to pitch at least 3 innings to be considered for the win. Otherwise, it's a no decision. But let's say he pitches 4 innings. He struck out, I don't know, 8 batters, walked 2 batters, gave up 6 hits, 1 run period, and then 2 additional runs for earned runs. Not very difficult. These are things you can't really fill out as you go. You kind of have to wait till it's over and tally it up at the end for the home team in this case. Okay, so that's basically the gist of how you keep the score sheet. It's not very complicated. Okay, so please keep in mind that if you ever have any questions, revert to the legend down at the bottom of the sheet, or you can ask another captain or another teammate, or you can revert back to this video. Just try to keep your scores on the sheet as simple as possible, because time is of the essence when it comes to someone else putting in your score sheet. Which up until this point it was myself, the commissioner, or the co-commissioner Greg, or perhaps Kyle. He's sort of like our statistician, an amateur statistician rather. So I mean, we're going to get to the point to where each captain is going to enter their own team stats over time for each game. So you need to come up with a method that works for you. Please use this method. Keep it simple so it can be looked at really quickly and scored very easily. The next video will be taking a look up at how to tally the stats on each score sheet and what that means for entering it into our stats database. Until then.